Hello, 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 and welcome to Thursday's edition of the Pop-Up Shop with me. I didn't invite any of the young ladies that work with me today because I decided I wanted to really do a Facebook Live, so to speak, about regenerative stem cell therapy. Now, normally we would have had a seminar here and Dr. Greene would have been here, which, normally we do once a month here at the boutique at 11 and then out in Sun City and then back here at 6. We did have a scheduled session a scheduled seminar structure for today, but then of course we had to cancel that. So I decided to just come on and share some information with you about it, but also about 2 weeks ago on Facebook, I interviewed Dr. Greene, and it is on YouTube, and if you scroll back to Facebook, you will see that as well. And it was before we started the Unique Leaders podcast. It was under Face Facts with Dr. David Greene. So it's really good information. You'll enjoy meeting Dr. Greene and hearing about regenerative stem cell therapy. So that was several weeks ago. But as I said, it's also on YouTube. But today I just wanted to share about the category, what is the essence of this category, why it is here, how it affected me and my life, and how it is, impacted, if you want to say, but more importantly, we are sharing it with you here at the Novitas Spa Medical Rejuvenation Clinic. Basically speaking, regenerative stem cell therapy is God-given. It is cells from birth product, and it is a scheduled C-section for a woman 35 and younger. And this person has been highly interviewed or vetted and with criterion, she can't even have a tattoo. So this is a very important piece to know, that it is from birth product. So these are brand new cells that are alive and ready to regenerate. And that really is a very important piece, because it's not from you, meaning from adipose fat, or bone marrow, adipose fat meaning belly fat. It is from a birth product, and that the key to that point is that these are brand new cells that are just not only raring to go, but that is what their nature is to regenerate. Where in fact, in the past, that is where stem cell began in the United States, was from your own stem cell taken from adipose fat or bone marrow. But the challenge with that is that once you're over 50, those stem cells are just really worn out and not raring to go and to regenerate. So that is a challenge or a problem. And many people that I personally know have had that and have not had great success. It's expensive and to do that. And today, the FDA does not allow that. And so you would have to go to other countries to have that procedure done. You could have the stem cells taken in this country, but it would be shipped to South America or, countries like that, Panama, Mexico, and the like. So why travel? Why not have these cells that are just raring to go and to regenerate and to rebuild? Now, the other question that's asked all the time is that after people understand that it is from birth product and not an abortion, that is illegal, it's immoral. Anyone that knows me would know that that is not what I do and would ever do. So it is from the dynamic of righteousness or rightness. And the other question, well, maybe not asked question, but the sharing fact is, what the question is often posed is, are stem cells FDA approved? Well, they cannot be approved or denied because they're not a food or a drug. But what is regulated by the FDA is where the stem cells are processed after taken from after the birth product is done, because historically those stem cells, the umbilical cord, the Wharton's jelly, the amniotic fluid is thrown away. And so today it is then sent to an FDA-approved regulated lab that processes these stem cells. That's a very important piece to this whole structure, because it is very important to have these cells processed properly and not have them, the lab itself used a substandard processing protocols. So that is a key. So now I'm going to share a little bit about my story. My story basically began, in high school back in the late 60s, when I did a cartwheel split. Now, no one should do a cartwheel split, but I was a cheerleader and I did this cartwheel split one day. And I loved doing cartwheels, but a cartwheel split was a bit much. And I ended up on the floor and I could feel that knee being strained or pulled. And that was years and years ago. So then over time, and we all have those moments in time where something happened, where you can remember back to when something injured your knee, your elbow, your shoulder, your foot, your ankle, different areas. So that happened many, many years ago. And then over time, playing tennis, skiing, doing different things, and just aging, meaning our osteoarthritis setting into that area started to be chronically challenged. And when I say by chronically challenged, is over the years when it would flare up, swell, and be painful, I would just put a little compression brace on it, and then take, a leave and just go on my merry way. As time went on, that was harder to rectify, just doing that, or rectify is not the right word, to alter that pain and that swelling. So let's say 5-6 years ago, I would use my LED light. I would put the compression garment on, knee brace. I would sit in my infrared sauna here at Novitas Spa, and it would slowly get better. Let's just say that. Then in the summer of 2018, I was at an event and they were using music as an engagement tool. Now, I was not dancing at all, but the music was going on and I kind of just moved my body to the right and my left leg stayed there, and I felt this pop and I saw stars. I couldn't really walk from where I was over to the chair, which was maybe 6-7 feet. And so I hobbled over there. Somebody saw me struggling with this and helped me over there. So the rest of the day, it was a Sunday and the event was over that day. And the rest of the day, I just really could not participate. I could not move. Then after that, it was really a nightmare because I could not move. Get out of the car with no left leg, get out of bed, that was a challenge. I mean, every day it was just a big challenge, and nothing that I did was helping it. I had an x-ray, I went to an imaging center, and I really needed a knee replacement according to what that x-ray showed. And that x-ray showed very similarly to right here. If you can see this right area here, this is a knee. And so it was just very separated, and there was some white there, but, or you could see very similar to that, because when I saw this is not in me, but when I saw this really was similar to what I saw. Now, I did not want surgery. I didn't have the time to have not only pre-op and post-op and physical therapy, but to have surgery. I did not want to have that. So I started researching alternatives to that. And lo and behold, God stepped in, and a friend of mine who had no idea that this had happened in my life, but she does live in this area. And she was at a conference up in Dallas, and she shared in an email that these friends of hers had had stem cell therapy for the husband on his shoulder, the wife in her knee, and that it was amazing result. She said, Megan, all I could think about was you and Novitas Spa and Medical Rejuvenation Clinic. So I emailed her back and said, you have no idea what you just shared. I need more information when you get back from this conference. So I did speak with her. I got the name of her friends and called them, and then went to where they had gone. And I drove up to Dallas by myself, hobbled in, had 1 cc in my knee, and left. And in several days, I could absolutely feel a difference. It really, the thing I would say is it felt stronger. And then as time went on, and not a lot of time, but as time went on, it got stronger and stronger. And so almost 2 years later, it's a year and a half, I guess, right now, I'm going strong, as Dr. Greene would say. I don't feel any twinge. I feel no weakness. But what it has done for me is truly changed the quality of my life. I have traveled. I have you. And if anyone follows me on Facebook, you saw that I went to Italy. Excuse me, last October. I mean, cobbled streets all over southern Italy, Rome to southern Italy, up and down train stations. I could not have done that. Could not. Last summer, I went to Colorado twice, 3 times really, but once to Telluride with one daughter and to the Denver area with another. Went to 2 concerts. The one in Telluride, we went off-roading and I climbed up this mountain. Unfortunately, I had slides on. I wasn't prepared for that. But regardless, I walked up. I got up there. The vista of those mountains. So I could never have done that had I not had that. So during that season, post having the regenerative stem cell, I said to myself, now this is Christmas time of 2018, early, right after Thanksgiving. And I said, I need to figure out if I can bring this on staff, but we don't do that. So I I started researching again. And with that research, I looked into see affiliate programs. And I called every single one that was listed, spoke to them, and then R3 Stem Cell, Dr. David Greene's company, just shone beyond all of the others from their professionalism, from their response to me. By that same day, his vice president of his company called me. We had a long talk. And then early December, met with Dr. Greene, and we put our plan together. And then in January 2019, we had our first regenerative stem cell therapy seminar. As I said, here in the boutique, 20 people, out in Sun City at 3 o'clock, and then back here at 6 o'clock. We started doing the procedures, and we have been doing procedures since January 2019, and we've done over 100 patients. We've done bone and joint, as I call it, meaning from, as I said, collarbone to shoulder to elbow to knee to frozen digits, many digits, feet, toes, ankles. But also in Dr. Greene's protocols, he has other protocols for COPD and autoimmune conditions and other things. In our collateral material in this banner, it mentions some of those. But what I really suggest you do is come and really have a consultation. I was visiting with a woman yesterday doing a consultation for our body contouring program, but in her medical forms, she spoke about neuropathy, other challenges that she is dealing with and has dealt with for many years. And then I shared with her, well, you know, this has nothing to do with what you're here for, but let me share with you what we do here that could help these conditions, because they were challenging her and challenging her quality of life. So with that, we had a mini consult with the program for regenerative stem cell therapy. Dr. Greene's protocols are all approved by the IRB, Dr. Greene, which means Independent Review Board. And so that really sets these protocols truly apart from just anywhere, whomever is doing stem cell regenerative therapy. Dr. Greene is a retired orthopedic surgeon, so he absolutely knows his business. He's from Scottsdale, Arizona, and has a pain clinic and has had that for over 10 years and has been doing regenerative stem cell therapy treatments there for about 7 years, and then expanded to start doing training, and then realized other practices like Novita really need that support, and not just training, but support of, like I shared earlier, where the cells should come from, meaning that information, and also not where they should, but that is where we do get them from through R3 stem cell. So these are just general points to you. And several people have come on, and if you'd like to just put in the comment any questions. Allison McKee, hello, hello. And Cecilia Fernandez and Charles Nemi and R.C. Piazza, Alex Rojo Duran, Arthur Blackmore, Juan Montes, and Kelly. Hello, Kelly Greene, good to see you. If you have any questions about what I've shared so far, I would like you to put it into the comment. I did want to show you, this is on our website. We have a very good website with very good information, which is really linked from R3 Stem Cells website. But this is what Dr. Greene calls his consumer guide. And it reiterates some of the points that I've shared here, but also other more in-depth information that, you might ask, certainly might not have thought of, but basically what I have shared with you, I'm just panning this, is the essence of what I shared with you are really the most important. Oh, I'm looking at one thing here, what I do want to share, and it's PRP. PRP stands for platelet-rich plasma, and it is not stem cells. Platelet-rich plasma is plasma from you. There's a place for that. We use it with hair restoration. We use it with regenerative microneedling, medical facials. Fabulous, fabulous. But it is not stem cell. We're right on the Georgetown thoroughfare, walking historic square. And many people walk in here because we have banners in the windows stating that we're doing regenerative stem cell therapy. And people will walk in and literally say, oh, my mother had a stem cell and it did not work. And then I know the questions to ask, and I will ask, did it come from her own blood? Oh, yes, they say. And so I say that is not stem cell, that is PRP, plasma-rich platelets. And so it's very important to understand this misinformation, because there are locations that purport that this is stem cell, and it is absolutely not. It has a place. It has a place in healing. We are hearing with the COVID-19 virus where the blood from people that have had the virus is being taken, and they're looking at using it as an antidote. That is, let me say it this way. From the COVID-19 viral and coronaviruses, there's going to be tremendous, tremendous research done, as you see in the news, and more and more correct information will be shared about regenerative stem cell. There's a question here. When is Dr. Greene back? I don't know, to be very frank with you, but we do our consults here. Now, Dr. Greene, as I said, is on the, so YouTube would probably be the best place for them to find that. Yeah. So go on the Novitas Spa. Okay. We'll do a link on this, on the comments of this segment with his interview, but also on our website, there is a link to R3 Stem Cell, and he has a webinar. The video's on there too. And the video is on there as well, meaning our video with him, yes, is on our website. But he does have a webinar on our website, but it is through his website, r3stemcell.com. So all of the information, honestly, that I'm sharing here is really the same information he would share. I do have his PowerPoint slides, and last, in March, before we closed, I did the seminar in Sun City because he was unable to make it that day, just family, personal things. But followed that, and it was he and I, so to speak, but the slides and with the correct information. But this consumer guide will give you fabulous information, but you don't have to wait for a seminar to have a consult. My nursing staff has all been trained by R3 Stem Cell. They know the protocols. As I said, his protocols are very succinct and clear, and they have a direct line to he and his team if need be. Any questions I'm asking, very straightforward. They're just injections or IVs, but that's what we would go through with you when you come for a consultation. But our nursing staff does do the injections. He does not do the injections. He just shares information like I'm doing right now. Another question is, no, that's okay. But he, the thing is, when will he be back? That's predicated on travel and all of what's going on. He's in Arizona, as I shared, and Arizona is more tightly held together right now than we are. So it might be the summer, but he will be back absolutely. But you do not have to wait till the summer to not only come for a consult, because that is the best way to really get in-depth information, because you will fill out a medical record form, and then we can ascertain from that what the protocol should be, what you need, and then we go from there. And then we also have a whole program, which I'm not going to babble on here, but one aspect of it is that it is tied together with our infrared sauna. When Dr. Greene first came to Novitas, back at Christmas time of 2018, he saw the infrared sauna. He goes, wow, that's great. And I said, why? And he shared, well, because it helps the circulation and the regeneration of the cells. So it's just part of the program that we have here at Novitas Spa Medical Rejuvenation Clinic. So we, oh, okay. So should I look at them? There's questions, guys. So we're going to, so Elizabeth doesn't have to read them. Okay. Okay, so Michelle.
It's more of a comment.
Oh, so this is from Michelle McAllister. Hold on, folks. So they can't see this. They can see it on Facebook if they look later.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. But on StreamYard, which is the platform we're using, Michelle McAllister, who is a client and a patient here at Novitas. These are her words. Absolutely life-changing. I'm so glad I took a leap of faith with Dr. Greene and Megan DiMartino with their stem cell regenerative program. I've been pain-free, as well as helped me with my vertigo, which was just a huge blessing in itself. Thank you, Megan, for bringing this high-quality regenerative program to Georgetown at Novitas Spa Medical Rejuvenation Clinic. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle, I do want you to put in the comment about also how you've enjoyed the vitamin program, the IV program post your, having it with your IV, but also post, because I am going to put together a vitamin program for you. Probably will not happen until, this is May, probably end of June, maybe early July. But with people needing vitamin C, and also when I say people needing, I'm talking about me, meaning to build your immune system, because that's also what that infrared sauna does. And so, regardless of having stem cell, the infrared sauna is a huge help with your health and wellness program. Also, vitamin infusion. So we're going to be putting that together. We now do a Myers cocktail infusion along with our in the stem cell IV program. But again, I'm getting more deeply into what would be prescribed for you when you have a consultation. But what I am saying is we're going to be putting a vitamin program together. And Michelle, post her regenerative, has had several IVs because she found that she just felt amazing post the procedure. And it wasn't that it enhanced it, but it just helped her with her vertigo and everything that she deals with. Okay, Stephanie LeBaron, Papalana. Oh, I see. I said it correctly when you were with me. I have to do it hyphenetically, Stephanie. Can that guide be emailed? Absolutely. So in the comments, absolutely, and we do that every day. So in the comments, just do your name and your email, and we will email it to you. Okay? Absolutely. Very, very important. It is on the website. And can they download it from the website? No, it's not a link. Okay. So well, I guess we could do it as a link. Don't we have it?
I can create it.
Yeah, we will create a link on the website under Regenerative Stem Cell Therapy, but it is absolutely tomorrow. We can email it to you. Just put your comment in. We need that anyway to keep you apprised of, and that's a very important fact. Let us have your email so we can put you on our email list for upcoming seminars and the like. Okay, Katie, has this been used in areas of the body that have muscle spasm issues? Muscle spasm issues. Can you be more succinct? Meaning like if your back is spasming, I suppose is what you're saying. Now, what I would suggest, Katie, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it is very important. My answer would be most likely yes, but it's what's the genesis of that spasm and why is it happening? But most likely, the answer would be yes, but we need more information. That's why a consultation is really important to ascertain, the area of need and the protocol that we would follow. Also, though, Katie is in Missouri, and there are R3 stem cell centers throughout the United States. And I don't think there is one in Missouri, but I could be very wrong. There may be, but he is absolutely going to be, he has 44 centers throughout the United States. Okay, Michelle, yes, the vitamin IV Myers cocktail therapy has been a huge help as well as the infrared sauna sessions are wonderful and just boost my energy, overall feeling of wellness. Can't wait for you to be back open the week of the 18th, girl, and you can call and book that appointment. So we are setting those up actually starting next week. Taylor and Sarah will be here, my spa coordinators, next week, booking appointments and setting up those appointments. So just know that we want to get everything settled and right. And then the week of the 18th, and we actually have several stem cell patients joining us that week that had been to consults before we closed. And there's Stephanie is great. Okay. Yes, back spasms, most likely, but we can also chat with that since you're in Missouri, and we can just, ascertain, and I don't know if that's for you or your husband, Charlie, or someone else, but we can. And then also, I always call Dr. Greene. I call him my Shell's answer man, and we'll ask him, questions that I certainly don't know. And, are, not as overt as some things are. So we'll find that out for you, but give me more, in-depth information about, maybe it was an injury. Did it, has it been going on long? Is it connected to a back injury? Does it happen all the time? Is it part of a sciatic? There's so many things to it, but it's just getting that information from you to be able to even ask Dr. Greene and his staff. Sometimes I don't directly speak to him, but most often I do. Any other questions? No. Okay. So with that, let me just peruse, because I mentioned the consumer guide, and that brought up several questions. One question, let me say it this way. It's not as much a question as a statement. And I don't want to get too far in the weeds with this, but what I do want to share, I did talk about the adipose fat and the bone marrow. But what I do want to share is that people will ask, how many cells do you get? And one of the things that happens in foreign countries is that they basically process these cells, and Dr. Greene calls it likening it to a Xerox copier, meaning that they use preservatives and that to expand and expand and expand. It's not a race to get more cells. The real key is to have healthy, live, brand new cells that are going to regenerate and continue to regenerate. And why he likens that process to a Xerox copier is that he said, when you put that new cartridge in, that copy looks like you just went to FedEx or had it printed at a printer. But as time goes on and you copy and copy and copy, that copy just is gray and can barely read it. And that's what happens with cells that are continued to be processed with radiation, which you cannot do in the United States, and preservatives. And therefore, the key is, and that's why I started off with this, the key is that it is about where these cells come from and what they are doing for you. And then not only where do they come from birth product, as I shared, that a woman 35, a scheduled C-section, key, scheduled C-section. So the woman was not ill, she just had certain dynamics that chose to have a C-section. So it is a scheduled C-section, but in order to be a candidate, that she was heavily vetted, cannot even have certainly smoking and drinking and on, and medications and family background situations, but also cannot have, and I thought this was amazing when I heard this, cannot have a tattoo. So it is an amazing process that will truly, truly help with the quality of your life. And so that is another piece. So I want you to know, because as you explore this, people will ask you about, where did it come from? Today in 2020, I don't hear as much as when we first started in 2019 about that the birth product came from aborted babies, and it doesn't. It's illegal, it's unethical, but it's certainly illegal, and it does not happen. So this is from scheduled C-sections and a woman 35 and younger that has been totally vetted and with all of the criterions. But then the next very important piece, and I will share this with you, a very important piece is where they are processed. Because in the United States, there are many blood banks, many, for various reasons. But this blood bank that Dr. Greene uses has a gold standard with the FDA. They can come in at a moment's notice and and stay for a long time, like a week, and do testing and just looking into the processes that the lab is doing. So when I first started to look into this, I called my insurance broker, because we have very good insurance for medical spa. I have a medical director, but I wanted to make sure that it was something that would be covered. And so when I called him, who I've been working with for years now, I said, and the category is called biologics. And I said, I'm looking into doing biologics. And he goes, immediately said, I think that's going to be great for you. And I said, really, why do you say that? And he goes, well, I think it really does fit. Who are you going to use? That's what he asked me. Who are you going to use? Now, quite frankly, when he asked me that in December, I wasn't sure why he was asking me that, but I said, R3 stem cell. And he goes, that's great. Very like that. And I said, why do you say that? And he said, well, and he's the first one that explained to me about where the importance of where the cells are processed is, the importance of that. And he said, Megan, you have very good insurance. And he said, the companies that you use would not cover just any lab. And he said, he's the one that shared this with me. And then of course, Dr. Greene reiterated this, because it is a very important point. But that's what I want you to understand. And if anyone knows me, and like Michelle has gotten to know me and the quality of my work and the structure that we work under, meaning that we could have opened probably 2 weeks ago, maybe even sooner, because of the fact that we do medical. But I didn't want to stretch it, because there are other quote unquote medical spas that do laser hair removal and the like, and opened a week plus ago. That's not, and people called me and asked, are you open for your medical treatments? And I said, no, we're going to follow what Governor Abbott said, and I will never not do on any level. Now, for instance, with the post, or not post, but with in hand in glove opening again, we're going to beef up our OSHA sanitation, and not just, which we've done forever, but not just what the state and the federal, but other things, which I'm not going to go on and on here. But the most important thing is you. So you're comfortable, so that you understand that we are here for you, for your true results. Always have been. Novital means new birth, new life, always something new. And that is my promise. And my promise is to look into what we can do. And if it is in our scope of license and scope in our structure, then we will work on getting it to you and expand it. Because the other word that I work from is evolve. My business has evolved over the last 28 years. We manufacture clinical result-oriented skincare, started that in 1992. These products are sold to other spas and medical spas, and they're also on Amazon. And we'll be expanding that platform to others. And also, we have been doing medical aesthetics and medical body contouring since 2013. And we've just continued to evolve this business. So when my own personal experience happened, because I really predicate things on myself, meaning if I'm interested in it, then generally speaking, and why I say that is I was born in 1950, and I'm kind of the bellwether. You know, people say, well, it begins in New York, goes to California, or vice versa, and comes to the center of the country. I kind of base it on me. I'm a New York girl, deep in the heart of Texas. And so when that happened for me, it was something that I said, I'm talking about my knee now. When I had stem cell regenerative therapy, I knew I had to work as hard as I could to bring the most professional program to you. And I see Scott Simons on here. And Scott Simons is, I don't know you, but I know you. I feel like I do. And you and Carter Myers, and the company that you work with, ascribe to the same philosophy, that it is all about the client, it's all about excellence. I say that the definition of spa is a special pampering attitude, and with clinical excellence with a special pampering attitude. So it's all about you. And I call this business a hybrid. I'm sharing this because many of you do not live here, but I call this a hybrid because it looks like, it feels like, it smells like, aromatherapy, a luxury day spa, which it is, absolutely is. That is a Tuscan hillside scene. This is 16 feet. It's a beautiful, beautiful boutique on the historic Georgetown Square. Georgetown's about 20 miles north of Austin. It's a bedroom community of Austin. But we never step away from that pampering. It's not that stark medicinal. And Michelle, if you're still on, you can, address that, meaning that it embraces you. We are here to give you an experience. It's really, as I keep saying, all about you and, customizing your experience, just like you do at Carter Myers and, Scott Simons and Eliza and the whole team. As I said, I can't wait to someday meet y'all, but the bottom line is it's about you. And so this hybrid, back to that, yes, it is a luxury day spa, but it's also a clinical, medical, and wellness spa. And it is a medical and wellness medical spa. So but the bridge to it all is the Novitas Spa clinical products and our heart and our soul and our team, just like you, Scott, and Liza and the whole team there at Carter Myers. So it's just my joy to be able to be sitting here today, speaking with you and sharing with you about regenerative stem cell therapy. But my producer and graphic artist is sitting here with me, Elizabeth Hauser. I couldn't do any of this, zero, without Miss Elizabeth. But she will put a link, Stephanie, if you're still on, and anyone watching this consumer guide. But again, do put in the comments your email. We'll put you on our database. That way you'll receive when there was a question when he will be back, Dr. Greene, and that way you'll see. We do post it and we do all of that, but our e-blast will share with you, when he will be back, but also things. And I have some ideas that I want to share with Dr. Greene about, because our world is changing. We know that, but do go also, and she will put in the text here of the link to my interview of Dr. Greene, which was a couple weeks ago, very recent. He's sitting there with his shorts on and in his home, because he's in Arizona and they're more restricted than we are in Texas. So I don't think are there any more questions at this time? But the main thing I would say, and I know Michelle would agree with this, Michelle McLean, who is on, not Michelle McLean, McAllister. One of my graphic gals is Michelle McLean. But what I was going to say is Michelle can reiterate this or agree with this, I'm sure, is that come for a consultation, because I can't go in depth, and it really, but I've given you the most important pieces to really understand and clarify, as I said in the text before this, the misinformation. But it's that consult, taking your medical profile and just understanding what's gone on in your life and what medication you take, different things, and put a plan together for you. So it is my joy to be here today and share this with you. So before we close, any more questions? Okay, folks. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and we will see you tomorrow for our Unique Legend podcast.
Leaders.
What did I say? Legend.
Unique
Leaders podcast. I've been up since about 6 o'clock running, but doing different projects with Elizabeth. But what I was going to share is it's going to be Rob Hipp with, he has a radio station here in Georgetown that services the Central Texas market. But Rob Hipp, just a little piece of trivia, had a company called Click Computers. He was in business for about 15 years and then sold it. And his love is broadcasting. So my business here started 15 years ago. And it would not be here in the order it is today without Mr. Rob Hipp, because he kept all of our electronics. Well, he put it in place and then maintained it for years. So he's just a treasure and full of information. So I know you're going to really enjoy his interview, as well as, how he has started several businesses and how, a maven in social media and building that type of business as well. So he's got a lot of interesting pieces to that for everyone, including myself. So I look forward to interviewing Rob tomorrow and hearing about his latest acquisition, which I'm not going to share today. I'll have Rob share, which just pieces together what he's doing today in building this electronic communication program for us here in Central Texas. So thank you for joining me, Megan DiMartino, today on our, I'm just seeing if there's a question. No, it's not a question. Okay, just someone, Nicole Kahn, Jerry Akoff, I hope I pronounced that right, Terry Workinger, thank you again for joining me today. We'll see you tomorrow on Unique Leaders Podcast. Be blessed.